I'm David J. Copper. Welcome back to the Copper Campfire, the place we gather to tell stories so eerie and uncanny they could almost pass for real life. Today on the Copper Campfire, with help from special guest Tina Smith, we ask an intriguing question. What if you knew the day everybody would die? Then you made the mistake of falling in love with somebody who had only one day left. Since childhood, I've always had a gift. I know when people will die. Yeah, as gifts go, that's not exactly as much fun at parties as playing the banjo. But, well, you get the gifts you get. I first noticed it at my grandparents' house. It was an ordinary Saturday of Monopoly and Michigan State football, but there was something odd floating above Grandpa's head, like a shimmering halo in the form of 3 numbers. After getting home, I asked Dad about it. "Dad, what were those numbers doing there?"
"Numbers? What are you talking about?"
"The ones over Grandpa's head at 322? You feeling okay, champ?" "Yeah, I just kept seeing those numbers over his head, floating."
"Go to bed."
8 days later, on March 22nd, 322, Grandpa started wheezing, clutching at his chest, his words slurring out an unfinished cry for help. He was dead before the ambulance could get there. At his funeral, I could see the numbers slowly fading into the ether. I didn't mention this to my parents. We'd never talked about these numbers again. But they kept showing up. I would always know when someone was fated for a death that year, so that made each new year particularly interesting. If I hadn't seen you since the previous year and you were scheduled for a date with the Grim Reaper that year, you'd be wearing a brand new hat full of numbers. Like Jalen McBride, my friend in the 6th grade. Jalen was cool, built like an upright spider, all gawky limbs, but somehow in control of his slender frame. Used to wear an oversized Pittsburgh Pirates jersey like a wizard's shawl. But after winter break, he showed up with numbers above his head, smiling in a way that clearly indicated he didn't know what I knew. I wanted to invite him to my birthday party in February, but according to the numbers above, he would be gone the day after my birthday. Maybe I was afraid he had something contagious, or maybe I thought death itself was contagious. Either way, I stayed far away from Jalen for the next 6 weeks, until Mrs. Laneway gave us the sad news. Jalen had been hit by a car on the 19th, the day of my birthday, and died in the hospital the next day. I went to bed that night wondering, what would have happened if he'd gone to my birthday party? He wouldn't have been there on that street, getting his rib cage smashed into by a minivan going the wrong way. Could I have saved him? I thought about Jalen a lot, but never talked about him to anyone. Fast forward a few decades and New Year's Day is still my least favorite holiday. The numbers are still there. It's been 32 years of uncomfortable goodbyes with friends, co-workers, strangers who didn't understand why their presence would bring a redness to my eyes. I never try to explain it. They wouldn't believe me anyway. They wouldn't understand it if I told them not to take that plane trip to Brazil, or that road trip to Las Vegas, or have that last drink before driving home. But maybe Jalen would have believed me, and if he had, maybe we'd be hanging out today, making fun of Mrs. Laneway's lateral lisp, that oversized Pirates jersey tugged over his head like a hoodie. Nursing homes and hospitals are, as you might imagine, my least favorite places to be. So don't ask me why I pursued a career as a physical therapist at a local health clinic. I do a lot of reading on my break, better to keep my eyes down, away from those ominously hovering numbers, focusing instead on the invented worlds of Tolstoy or Dostoevsky. But sometimes my respite from the day's morbidity gets interrupted.
Have you gotten to the part where she dies?
I turn and see her face. Like many others here at the clinic, she's got a number, but it takes a while to notice it. My eyes instead race to that stack of platinum blonde hair on her left shoulder, and those eyes, boasting a deep blue sheen that can't hide behind those thick-rimmed glasses, their frames a bright red that matches her lips as they curl into a reluctant smile. Excuse me?
She dies. But you knew that, right? I mean, it's Tolstoy, for God's sake. Sorry, Russian literature major. We can't just let somebody read Anna Karenina without, being a Russian literature major.
Yeah, of course.
I'm Gina.
Mitch. She offers her hand, but with those numbers less than 24 hours away, her handshake leaves me uneasy. But Gina doesn't give up. She talks, and so we talk, about everything. Food, family, Dostoevsky, even death.
And so, according to legend, 2 teenaged boys drowned in the lake, and that's why they call it Devil's Lake, and why they call the town Devil's Lake.
So what brings you to the big city?
Just need to see a lawyer friend of mine. Got some legal stuff to take care of.
Well, I hope it's legal.
Excuse me?
I mean, I wouldn't want to get involved with somebody mixed up in something illegal.
Don't worry, officer. I'm clean.
Really? No drug cartels in your past? Human trafficking rings? Organ harvesting cabals?
Sorry to disappoint you, but no. Just trying to stop somebody from killing me.
Are you serious?
Very. I'm getting a restraining order. I have an ex who's been after me for a while.
He's stalking you?
That's right. I mean, he's always been a little nuts. Abusive, weird, possessive. Checks all the stalker boxes. But I get this sense he's serious now. I can feel it.
The numbers now make sense.
Look, I've got to run, Mitch. If you're ever in Devil's Lake, who knows? I'm heading back there tomorrow.
But I know she'll never make it back home. So before she can turn around and leave... What are you doing later today?
Well, I'll be a little busy getting the restraining order.
I need to see you. I'll meet you at the lawyer's office. We'll go somewhere, have dinner maybe. She seems a little put off by my forwardness, but the sense of caution in her eyes slowly melts away, and she writes down the name of the law office, then backpedals away, giving me that multi-fingered wave. Friendly, almost flirtatious, but most importantly, alive. My mission is to keep her that way until midnight. I pick her up around 6:30 and she's happy to see me, or maybe just relieved to learn that it's me waiting for her in the lobby and not her ex-husband. As we stroll to my car, the numbers are right there in place, levitating above her cautious grin, reminding me that we've still got 5.5 hours before she's truly safe. My gaze sweeps the landscape ahead of us, squeezing between parked cars and crowds of pedestrians, waiting for a stranger to leap from the bodies. We talk a little, but not enough to drown out the tolling bells of those numbers. The restaurant is dark and small, with blood-red lamps casting elongated Salvador Dali shadows against the stucco walls. I try to ignore the clock on the wall behind her as she tells me why she likes to hang out in crowded places downtown.
I know it sounds weird, but there's something about all that energy from other humans combining into one giant organism. Like a reminder that we all basically have the same heartbeat. And
But I can't keep my gaze away from the clock. 2 hours and 17 minutes left.
And you have all those people, each with their own story and their own...
An abrupt pause as her eyes go wide and her face goes ashen.
It's him.
Her gaze is locked over my shoulder. She pulls away slowly, gripping the table's edges, her fingernails digging into the tablecloth.
That's his car. Don't look.
I turn and look anyway, finding a '97 Camaro with rusted bumpers easing past the restaurant. It comes to a slow stop. Gina gives my sleeve a tug as I rise from my seat.
No.
I bring our faces together, knowing I can't give her the answers her darting eyes are seeking. The best I can do is this. I have to do this. You will understand later. Or maybe she never will. We'll have to see. I race from the table, weaving through the waitstaff and giant trays and bus carts. But when I reach the restaurant's front door and gaze out of it, the Camaro is empty, nobody inside. Gina's ex-husband seems to have moved quickly. Maybe he's here in the restaurant. I step back to the table, masking my worry with a tight grin. Unwanted eyes would not be helpful right now. When I get to the table, it's empty. No Gina. My God. Seconds later, Gina emerges from the bathroom, her breath halting, labored, her face bloodless and frozen in fear.
Are you okay? What happened?
Giving her head a frantic shake, she moves to the table as if trying to hop aboard a freight train doing 90 miles an hour.
I'm okay. I just panicked, that's all. The moment just brought back too many... I just panicked.
Before she can sit, I hold her face, caressing it, her eyes slowly trusting mine enough to meet them.
Let me sit there. I'll keep an eye on the door and make sure you're safe.
She swallows hard and nods, pushing out a choppy sigh as she sees the wine glasses before her, then smiles. With a lift of her wine glass, she forces a grin.
To us?
To us.
I can't see the clock from this new seat, so I steal a glance at my cell phone. An hour and 5 minutes left.
Am I that boring?
No, just checking the time.
You got somewhere to go on a Tuesday night? Wife and kids back home?
But she's smiling as she says it, an invitation to more banter, and I accept. Before you know it, we're joking like a couple celebrating our anniversary in months, not yet years. Well beyond awkward chit-chat, but not yet settling into roommates with kids and a shared mortgage. And soon, it's minutes before midnight, and all is quiet. But the quiet doesn't last. A ruckus of shouts and tussling bodies cuts through the din. A disheveled man is shoved to the door by two busboys and a chubby waitress. He screams for Gina and she turns slowly. She knows that piercing howl, that reddened face. I don't have to ask who it is. But he's gone now. A well-dressed maitre d' steps to our table with the face of a 12-year-old on his way to the principal's office. He leans toward us, keeping his words soft. He asks if our meal is okay, then recommends we stop eating. Apparently, a man has been found tampering with the food. He's been detained now and the police are on their way. But just to be on the safe side. Gina looks at her plate, picking through the medium rare steak and mashed potatoes, eyes missing nothing. She and the maitre d' are concerned, but I'm not. I know something they don't. According to the maitre d's expensive watch, we're 3 minutes before midnight. I turn to the maitre d' and say, "We're fine. If you don't mind now, I'd like to dance with my date." Gina is puzzled, but she dances anyway, that glorious pile of platinum blonde brushing against my cheek as her body's nervous rattle slows, then disappears.
I hope our next date is less adventurous.
I promise it will be.
But the words are stuck in my throat, smothered by a cough that I can't quite push through. She looks at my face and pulls away in horror.
Are you okay?
Oh, is it midnight yet?
What?
You made it.
But I haven't, and I won't. It all makes sense now. We switched seats, so the food and wine and overpriced bread meant for her went to me. I'm wheezing now, on my knees and gasping, trying to vomit out that fire from my lungs that has my body sweating and shaking. I look up, hoping to catch a glimpse of the clock, but I only see blurred faces of shock. But what brings my lips to a smile is that none of those faces has numbers above them. It's over for me, but Gina's life goes on.